Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 112 of the Co-op Podcast. Today I'm joined by Gary A. Swaby,
Hey, what's good?
Charles Singletary,
Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be back on the co-op. Got to address some people that have been calling my name all willy-nilly and shit.
Oh no.
we got two special guests. First and foremost, we got Damian,
Yo.
and we got Mr. Michael A.
Wait, I'm special. I don't know about that. I'm a pretty regular bloke. But what's good, people?
Yes.
Did you say regular bloke?
Yes, sir. Average Joe.
So, before we get started, I got a very quick message I would like to say. I know that there were some people, if they saw the throwdown, they probably said, oh, there was a comment made, well, maybe Gary should host this episode. Now I was thinking to myself, that's interesting. Well, let me tell you right now, I do want to host this, and this will be a lot more orderly, unlike the throwdown, because people was going after hip-hop gamer, all this other stuff was being said. Listen, Jack, we're going to have a lot more control this time. So shout-outs to those that didn't think I would be able to host this, though. 'Cause, I got something for y'all. So let's jump right into it.
Shots are being fired everywhere.
Yes, that's right. Shots fired, part 2. Okay, so first and foremost, let's find out what have you guys been playing. You want to go first, Gary?
Yeah, I've been playing like a huge mix of things like Dragon Ball Z, Xenoverse, Bloodborne, Hotline Miami 2, and this week also for the first time I finally decided to get into DC Universe, and I never realized how good it actually is. Like I'm actually enjoying the game. I used to think that it wasn't that good because
It wasn't that good before. The updates helped it out significantly.
Okay, yeah, I kind of figured because I remember like around the time it launched, a lot of people were saying it wasn't that great. So I think that kind of stopped me from playing. But like now, it's like it's really fun. And this is someone who used to play Champions Online, the other superhero type game, and I'm enjoying this one a lot more because it's got characters and they act as like mentors and stuff. I'm currently doing like quests with Batgirl and stuff like that, so all that stuff is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm enjoying that right now. So also Bloodborne. I wanted to say this on the throwdown, but it was like so packed that I couldn't get my word in. I'm actually also still on the first level of Bloodborne, but the thing is, I actually enjoy it a lot more than Hip Hop Gamer does. Because every time you die, you literally learn something, and like you can. Right now, I have a strategy where I'm just gonna keep farming the same spot, so just killing people and then going back to the hub world or whatever, and then just buying new stuff and refilling my items and everything, and then like I just go ahead and get further and further. And today I've been fighting the boss and I died a couple times. So after this show, I'm going to go right back and I'm going to beat that level tonight. Guaranteed. Because like now I've got things figured out. So that game actually is fun even if you do die a lot, even if you aren't that great, because I admit that I'm probably not the best person at this game at all because I've died like thousands of times already probably. But it's still fun just learning new things and getting closer and closer to beating the challenge. That alone is fun. So, I really wanted to say that on Throwdown, but with all those personalities and egos, it was just kind of hard to get my word in.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, so I can't wait to get back to that. But that's it. That's all I've been.
Sounds good. So, how about you, Charles?
I've been playing 2 games that have been taking up a lot of my time, and I'm absolutely in love with the both of them. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity, which is by Obsidian, and Elite Dangerous by Frontier Developers. And the Elite Dangerous is the space exploration game, and then Pillar of Eternity is an isometric RPG. And they're both absolutely fantastic. Very different types of games, of course, but like the writing on that Pillars of Eternity is incredible. I'm doing the review for that on the Coalition. And Elite Dangerous is just something I can tell I'm going to be putting a whole lot of time into. More kind of like an MMO, but I don't sit there like 8 hours on end sitting there playing through it and stuff. I can jump on, do a few missions, jump off, do some research on it and stuff like that. It's really cool. But that's it for me. Those take up all my time.
Cool. How about you, Damien?
Well, I'm still playing Destiny. Started Neverwinter, but I just want to accomplish one thing with Destiny, so I'm probably putting that down by the end of the day or tomorrow. Then put my focus into Neverwinter. Give that a couple of weeks at least until The Witcher or Batman comes out. That's where I am.
Good plan. How about you, Michael A?
What have I been playing? Tons of Warframe. Tons and tons of Warframe. Neverwinter just dropped on the Xbox, so I've been on that. The Dragon Ball game, that was the last thing I played on PlayStation, was the Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z game. It was pretty cool. And mainly 3DS, man. Smash and Fire Emblem. Waiting for that new one. So.
Wait, I got a question. Do you enjoy Dragon Ball Xenoverse?
I enjoy it when I play with other people. Like, I enjoy doing the co-op missions with friends and talking to them about Dragon Ball Z lore and the new movie that's coming out. But the game.
Oh, there's a new movie?
Yeah, there's a new movie coming out.
Who the hell they gonna fight now?
Well, Frieza's back. Yeah.
Frieza comes back like more powerful. Like he actually decides to train. When he should have trained before.
Exactly. But outside of the aspect of playing with friends, meh, it's a hit or miss game. Like there's concepts to it that are just annoying. So
yeah, I mean it's not a perfect game, but I feel like it's the best Dragon Ball Z game ever because like if you're a huge fan of the series and everything, it's just like it's got so much fan service, and the fact that it's like a community where you can share it with other fans of the show, you know, like just doing quests together and fighting each other and building the perfect characters and stuff. I feel like, you know, all that stuff is really well done. And I hope that they expand on it more in the next game, because I'm sure they're going to make a next one, because they did so well.
I assume so as well. Another thing that's annoyed me about that was the way they handled the server situation at launch. They didn't have enough up at all, so you just couldn't connect to the universe to be online to get stuff from like the mail that you could send your friends or even from the game. And their response was that they were going to wait till the game died down. And if they still needed to fix it, they would fix it. I'm like, well, that's kind of backwards.
Yeah, that launch was messed up for that game, but yeah, it's great now though, I think.
But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it in a while. I might get back into it. I know there's a new DLC that's out, but I don't really like that it's GT characters. It's like Pan. Who the hell wants to play as Pan in a Dragon Ball game? I don't. So yeah.
You can actually have her as your master as well. Like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And Yamcha.
Oh my god. Yeah. Such wasted time. But yeah, I mean, if you're a diehard Dragon Ball fan, I'd say play it.
All right, cool. As for me, you know, I have been playing that Fast and Furious DLC for Forza Horizon 2. Hey, I just would like to say this: anyone who doesn't have Forza Horizon 2, they should download that and play that, and that will make them want to play Forza Horizon 2. It's just like an introductory thing for people who haven't had a chance to play the full game, and it's free right now until April 10th. So if anyone is watching this and you still haven't decided to play this, you definitely should try it out if you're interested. Aside from that, I've been playing, of course, you know, Sunset Overdrive DLC that came out on April 1st. So far, hey, it's Sunset Overdrive. It's fun stuff. I'll have something to say about that on the site fairly soon, because I should be done with that very soon. And, of course, I also played Bloodborne, Shock. I agree that the game is challenging, but that is the best part about it. You know, I mean, I know that there was a lot of complaints about a lot of different aspects about the game, but I really don't have any complaints so far. Would I say that it is worthy of the high scores it got? I mean, that depends on who reviews it, whether or not they like those type of games. I have never played a Dark Souls or Demon Souls game, but I'm enjoying it so far. Will I say it's going to be like a game of the year? Well, no, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just saying I'm enjoying it so far. So we'll see how it is as we continue to play through it. But yeah, just like Damien, I'm looking forward to Batman, The Witcher 3. Those are the games that I will take up the most of my time over the next couple months. So, but that's pretty much what we've been playing. So we're going to jump right into the topics. We got a couple things to go over today. First topic, of course, Sony, they bought what was left of OnLive for the patents, and now there is speculation that they may use the service, may or may not use the service. So I'd like to ask you guys, what do you think about this news? Any thoughts? And anybody can go first if they like to.
I'll throw a quick comment out there. Really, maybe them buying OnLive will change it from PlayStation in a little while to actually PlayStation Now. So that may help it out just a little bit with those patents.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
You didn't even give me a chance to say it. I was saying, oh my God. He like, you know what? I'm a pull the whole Eminem 8 Mile. I'm going to just embarrass myself.
Oh, no. I will tell you this. Like, we're going to have our battle, but the OnLive, well, the PlayStation Now thing, I've been clowning PlayStation Now for, like, a long time. And because I tried it. I did the beta test for it and everything, and I don't know how it runs now. It may run, so much better. I'm glad that Sony bought the remains of OnLive. Because I've read about how shittily the OnLive situation went with like the owner and how he treated people and how he was stabbing people in the back or letting like personal things dictate the partnerships that they were supposed to have for OnLive. So I'm glad they picked it up. It's weird that they picked it up after SOE stopped being a thing, but we'll see what comes from it.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I'm just confused. Like, what parts exactly? Because I know when OnLive disbanded, I thought like Microsoft swooped in and got a bunch of assets and whatnot from them. But I mean, to me, I didn't really think they needed it. I just thought maybe they saw the future in like a digital gaming platform even back then, which obviously we're trying to move to now. So, like, what does Sony exactly gain? Do people have the details or no?
Not quite.
What Sony bought, I think, is more of the patent, the technology behind the whole online service. I think partially, a lot of it probably had to do with PlayStation Now, as Charles said, wasn't working too good. But the OnLive service was working a lot better, from what I've read and what I've heard. So probably Sony's trying to,
And it probably wasn't that expensive either.
Right. They just try and increase their online structure. That's what I think. I think they're also trying to move into more of a streaming game service moving forward. Because despite what gamers may think, this probably is where gaming is going. Instead of actually buying a game, you just stream it. You pay a monthly subscription, and that might be the future. So Sony's probably just trying to jump the gun on that and see if it'll work in their favor. Plus, they got it on TV and different things. Hey, Sony got to do whatever they need to do to make some money these days, huh?
See, those are good points, but now I have to ask the question: what is Sony doing with Gaikai?
I think the Gaikai is probably the foundation of PlayStation Now, and these patents from OnLive will just supplement it. Because I'm sure the things that OnLive did well, and they have patents too that Gaikai couldn't do. So, I mean, now they have both.
I got you.
Yeah. Exactly. So, Gaikai is who power PlayStation Now. And like I said, that has its little shares of problems. So I guess probably whatever is in the patent with OnLive should be able to solve those problems. But we'll see how it goes.
Cool. You have something to say, Gary?
No, I pretty much agree with what's been said. I think they're just future-proofing. Because I assume that they want PlayStation Now to be more than just old games. Like I'm sure one day they might want to launch a new game on the service for people to stream. So yeah, I think this is just future-proofing. This ensures that there won't be a lot of complications with what they're trying to do. So I think it's a smart move, personally.
Yeah, only thing I would say is I think you guys pretty much said it. Probably the future proofing is why they did it. I really don't, we'll see if they use it. Microsoft didn't use the service, from what I understand, so we'll see if Sony uses it to their advantage to help them furthermore. But I just, unless it has no use of it now, I just don't know if it's really a big deal. But we'll see what happens. You guys have any last thing to add about this topic?
Negative.
Well, let's go to the next topic, and I got something to say about this next topic because a lot of people was hitting me up about this when it
Oh,
happened.
Rich, sorry to cut you off. My mic got muted real quick. I was saying, cause you guys also know that they finally shut down PlayStation Home, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. And
They,
actually,
they finally shut down Home. So probably Sony's just trying to beef up their online infrastructure, take all the different resources and put it together to try and get something decent,
yeah.
in terms of an online space. Who knows? They have a reason why they bought them, because it's just the patent, really. So it's the technology.
Well, I'd like to say something about that real quickly since you brought that up. This proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that Gary has turned his back on Sony because that was not on this list of topics. So,
Hey, you know what? In his defense, when the news came out that PlayStation Home was canceled or done, I was like, yo, I thought that shit was done like months ago. I didn't know that it was
Years ago, I thought.
Like, who really cares about PlayStation Home? Like, we knew that was a flop like 5 years ago or something.
It's in foreclosure since launch, right? That's what you said.
I was one of like 100 people still using it, especially when they did the E3 thing, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there were people in the Sony camp where, I mean, let's not pretend that there was people that were saying, "Oh, Home, I don't really need to mess with this." Like, there were people defending that, like, outright. It was great.
Yeah,
And
it was a cool idea. It just wasn't implemented in the right way, and it was in beta phase for way too long, partly as well, because like it changed. Because one of the most frustrating things for me is like, all right, so I have it, and you have to download each one of the spaces to use, right? But then every time one of the damn updates happened in this beta, I had to re-download every one of those spaces again because they completely changed. And PlayStation Home never had a static format that was consistent, so of course it didn't get any better.
Well, my take on it is it was just trash from the beginning. I think it was too ambitious. So it was too ambitious. They, instead of trying to do something like Live where you can interact with friends, they were trying to make this whole Sims kind of world, and you're a part of it, and you can launch your games from it. That feature didn't pan out too good. And my thing is, like, okay, every MMO has a hub. Like Destiny, you go to the hub, you don't have to wait. They set up Home, you go to the arcade, and you have to wait in line to play a game. Like, you for real? Like, it was just bad. It was bad from the beginning. I like the theater. You can go in and sit down and watch trailers. That was cool.
The theater was the best part, and not only could you just watch trailers, you could watch full out film in there. And they had the partnership there, so that was
good. The rest was trash. You honestly, like you in a video game waiting to play Joust, but you have to wait in queue. Yeah. Like who oh my god! Like, you know what? Next topic.
Yo, wait. I gotta say one thing though. There was one thing that was really awesome that came out of PlayStation Home.
What's that?
The hip hop gamer belt.
Okay. Yeah.
They had that replicated in the game.
Yeah, he had that in PlayStation Home. Man. You can really buy that.
You know what? That's awesome. I can't even knock that. That's pretty dope.
And it had the WWE logo and everything.
Yeah, lawsuit. It's a lawsuit. So, okay, listen. We stopped time to talk about this stuff, so let's restart time and talk about Quantum Break being delayed.
Oh my god!
That's a hell of a segue. Yeah, that's a hell of a.
You know what, Gary? I apologize for all the years that I've mocked your segue abilities. I've seen a new low. I've witnessed a new low, and I
Rich is the goat of segues right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had to talk about that. So let me just say this, because I'm pretty sure everybody got something to say about it. I want to say something real quick about this. People have been coming at me in the comments section saying, "Oh, this is a big deal. This is a massive delay." Here's the thing: we know that Remedy Entertainment always takes a while to work on the game. Didn't Alan Wake take about 8 years or so before it finally came out?
Oh my goodness, that thing got delayed so much.
It came out way past its prime. When it was first shown, it was like cutting edge. When it came out, it was like, oh no, that's yesterday's news.
Yeah, which is disappointing considering how good the game was, though.
Exactly.
No, I mean graphically. The first time it was cutting edge, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" And then when it came out, everybody was like, "Oh, we passed that. We passed that a long time." So, but Alan Wake was a very good game, very good story, great action sequence. I know some people complain that, "Oh, you can't do nothing but shoot," but shit, that's how they build their games. That's how they built it. That's how we play.
Exactly, and it takes time to make a great game. So, and one thing that Microsoft has always been transparent. At the beginning of the year, when they released their video on the games of 2015, this game was not
there. It wasn't there.
Yeah, so they knew what was coming, but I had to address that because I saw people was coming at me like this is a big deal. Listen, we already knew this was going to be delayed, and let's not try to act like this is on the same level of Uncharted getting delayed. Because Uncharted is a console seller. You already know how important that game is for PlayStation. This game, yeah, it's important for Microsoft, but Halo is a bigger deal. If Halo was delayed, now you can say that's a major...
Yeah, it makes more sense like to move an original IP out of the release window of Halo. Like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I don't...
Finally, Charles, finally. You got some sense, man. You're talking.
Man, I've had sense forever.
I know what you're saying, but I have to. I knew this game was gonna be delayed because even when I was speaking on my other podcast about it, where would it fit? Where would it fit?
Yeah, it just
because like Microsoft said, they have Fable coming, and despite what people think, Fable is a big title. It sells millions. Forza is their flag title racing game. You got Tomb Raider coming the end of the year. You made an exclusive deal with you can't kill the same Tomb Raider that with Quantum Break. So where would it fit? Like where would it really fit?
And I want to throw this out here. This is a little off topic, but I'm just throw this quick statement out there. I wonder if that Fable game is going to get the Evolve treatment, where everybody gave it shit for its only like multiplayer aspect.
That's a good question.
Every game that came out that's multiplayer alone got shit. Destiny got shit.
Titanfall
got shit. All of them.
I wonder if Fable is gonna get a pass because it's Fable.
Of course not.
Because Destiny and Evolve are original IPs.
It's published by Microsoft, so that alone is gonna give it some shit. You know what I'm saying? And we all know the internet gonna go crazy. They're gonna find something in Halo to give Halo shit. So come on. Like, what you know better than that. Come on, don't go back where you are.
So Gary and Michael A., what do you say about this Quantum Break delay?
I'll let Gary go first.
Gary, technical difficulties.
And Gary isn't present, so I guess.
Oh wait.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't know I was muted. Yeah. So even with the delay, Microsoft still has better exclusives than we know than Sony does, so they got nothing to worry about. And Quantum Break, I kind of
one in the chamber, 22 in the clip.
In the holiday.
Holiday.
Yeah, like not the
I
rest
mean,
of the
E3 could change everything because we don't know what Sony's gonna reveal at E3. But from what we know right now, Microsoft has the way better lineup. So.
Okay, let me just say something real quick, and I'm gonna let Michael A. go. I am gonna have something to say in the next topic, but you really have to ask yourself what game can Sony release that is going to be on the same level of Uncharted in terms of it being a major game for the holiday season?
Nothing that's done.
It has to be that game that we all know is not coming.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I forgot about that.
That's the only announcement Sony can make at E3 that will have some significance to Uncharted being delayed and to even go head-to-head with Halo.
That's true.
Only announcement.
Because when Uncharted was delayed, like my first comment was, I wonder what Sony's gonna move into that slot because we clown the whole holiday season thing, and yes, Sony has more games coming out before then, but the holiday season is a big deal because it's the holiday season. You have to have something there to move consoles, to move.
Rich, can I ask Charles a quick question?
Go
Yeah,
right ahead.
go ahead.
What more games do they have coming out?
I'm talking about everything that has come out. Like I'm counting the Order, and I'm counting Bloodborne. I'm counting the MLB the Show in
Well,
No Man's
you can
Sky.
barely count the Order.
I don't know if
You know what? Whoa. Pause.
No.
You
Give him
can.
the order. Give him the order. Give him Bloodborne.
Round
But
one.
I'm saying, like when you look at it, Microsoft got Ori and the Blind Forest. Now they got Neverwinter. These games are so we talking about exclusives.
No,
So,
Neverwinter's more exclusive though.
well, it's
Neverwinter
on the
originally
PC.
was originally a
But it's
PC
not
game.
coming to the PS4. At
That's
least
true.
there's
you
no
want- you
word
want
of it
to
coming to the PS4 right
He wants to
now.
discuss console exclusives as well, and that's fine.
No. We talking about games versus games. Like
Well, hey,
I'm just saying.
well, wait a second. Before we get deep into this, I got to hear what Michael got to say about Quantum Break. Then we'll let you.
I want to see that. I want to see them blows get swung. I perked up, I grabbed myself a nice cup of Joe, I was like, yeah, let's
Okay.
go. But no, I'll just say, personally, I don't know how you can call a game a delay, and Quantum Break never had an official release date. It never did. And so how is it delayed and we didn't even know when it was coming anyway?
That's a good
Additionally, I never saw that game coming out in 2015. They didn't need it to come out in 2015. That's a title that they can't afford to come out and be subpar. They need to take their time with that because they want to make that into an IP that they can continue to make titles off of. And Halo. You don't need, like, if you're Microsoft, you have Halo coming the holiday season this year. You don't put a new IP up against Halo on your own console. That's just silly. You don't really need to do that. And I think they learned from Sunset Overdrive that they learned a couple things from Sunset Overdrive. Even though it did okay, and I actually enjoyed the gameplay of that game. That was a really good game. I just hated the damn humor. You don't really want to put a new IP holiday season anyway, because people during that season, you'd be surprised how lazy and unintelligent most people are when they shop. And this is true of gamers as well. They will buy what they know. Yep. So if someone's going to buy something, especially if it's not for themselves, if they're buying a console and or game for a relative or friend, they're not going to go there and chance it on a new IP. That wouldn't make sense. They're going to go for something they've heard of or something that the person at the store recommends to them. That would be Halo. A mom or dad buying a console for their son or a cousin or for each other, and that doesn't game. You have to take those people into account because these marketers, they think about this stuff. They know Halo. They're not going to know Quantum Break. So it wouldn't make sense to put that game there. It just wouldn't do as well. I would say it just was never logical to expect that game to come holiday season this year at all. So I don't really see it as a big deal, honestly. If anything, it's a smart move on Microsoft. It's the right decision for them to make. So, I mean, now you just need to give me more information, especially since there's so many games we already know of, and E3 hasn't even come yet that are coming this holiday season, and it's only April. We haven't had E3 yet. The holiday season's already pretty much packed on the just from third-party standpoint alone. So I mean, I don't know.
And Mike, to add to what you're saying, people, I don't know. You guys posted it on your site, and I don't know if people actually read it. What Microsoft actually said. They said we've got the strongest games in Xbox history, blah blah blah. But they also said, and more will announce in the coming months.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still games that haven't been announced that are coming this year. Well, so they say. We'll see if that comes to fruition. See what I'm saying? But I think it was a smart move, like what Mike said, the best move. And now you got something to it may not to counter when Uncharted comes, but when someone is on the fence, okay, there's Uncharted on the PS4, what's on the Xbox? Oh, there's this new IP, Quantum Break, you can try it. It's the same action adventure kind of game. You see what I'm saying? There's still something to try to balance out the scale. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. I don't even know that they try to do that, though. Sorry to interrupt. I think
I was done.
Honestly, I think both Sony, Microsoft, and even Nintendo, these last two generations have learned a lot. and surprisingly, gamers haven't. Here's one thing I've learned: exclusives don't matter in terms of console sales. In fact, the games you have on your console don't matter. If the amount of games a console has at a time mattered to people when buying consoles, Wii U's would be flying off the shelves right now. Because this year alone, the Wii U has an amazing software lineup in terms of exclusives, and most people are sleeping on them outside of Nintendo fans. The number one selling console right now is the console with like the least exclusives right now. Nobody seems to really care about that. It's still selling very well. I mean, props to Sony for that. They found a way to sell ice to an Eskimo, I suppose. I don't know. So when you think of it that way, like you have Microsoft, who people kind of said you don't have enough exclusives on their console last gen. They relied on third-party deals and whatnot. Coming into this gen and saying, okay, we're going to put out more exclusives this year, and it hasn't netted them the same results. If anything, they're probably doing. I mean, in terms of total sales, yes, but in terms of market share, they're doing worse now than they were. So, I mean, I wouldn't think that Microsoft's thinking, oh, we need to combat Uncharted. Their one stop to doing that was the Tomb Raider deal. And now that's really blowing up in their face. Because Tomb Raider got delayed, so it's like...
Not Tomb Raider, Uncharted.
Uncharted got delayed, so you have Tomb Raider coming out the same year as Halo. Which
but that could be a catch-22 though, Mike, because now people who are fans of that genre, where are they going to go?
They're going to probably go to where they already are. You have to remember, there are people who are, and I don't know why this isn't new. I've said this before. There are people that are never going to own an Xbox console, and it doesn't really matter what Microsoft does. This Tomb Raider
I was talking about fans of the action adventure, the Tomb Raiders.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like even those fans, there are fans in that circle who love Tomb Raider, never have played on Xbox, and they never will.
But I understand what you're saying, but even in that situation, it doesn't apply because it's a timed exclusive. So, like, with that mindset, so, you know, Uncharted was delayed. Tomb Raider is going to come out in that window. We don't know how long Uncharted is even delayed for. And it'll probably come out in spring. So they'll wait till spring to play it, and then they'll probably get Tomb Raider soon after that.
And then it'll be the better, it'll be the better version of Tomb Raider because they'll.
I keep hearing you guys with this thing about the better version. No. Wait. Make it the better version.
Listen. Let me detail what we mean when we say that. All right, so you know how these like remasters or definitive versions come out after these games come out, where they. Like the bugs that come out in the original version, they try to eliminate those, and the DLC that comes out for the original version.
But Tomb Raider didn't have bugs. It doesn't have a history of releasing.
I'm talking about in general. So you have that first version that comes out, right? It'll have whatever issues. It may not have any issues at all, but any DLC or added content is going to be in that re-release version that comes later.
What if those DLCs are exclusive to Microsoft? They're never going to come out.
Then I will tell you that is a dumb move by Square Enix if they do that.
No, that's a dumb move in your category, but probably that's what.
No.
In the deal.
For a company that makes an exclusive deal with another company, so they can eliminate the issue of worrying about the sales and getting that off jump. If they make it exclusive, and also the Uncharted delay would hurt it if they did that, because originally, if Uncharted came out in that holiday season, right? Tomb Raider would come out as an action-adventure game on the PlayStation 4 after the hype of Uncharted has died down. So if it comes out around the same time as Uncharted and it doesn't have the DLC that the Xbox version has, who's going to fucking buy it?
I mean, honestly, that's all speculation. I don't know about
I was going to say, it's all speculation. We don't know what's in the deal. We don't know what's in the deal.
The DLC doesn't even matter anyway. The reason I'm saying it's going to be a superior version is because for the vast majority of multiplats this generation, the superior version has been the PS4 version. It's being delayed, so they will have more time to work on the PS4 version. And in addition to that, when you look at the history of games that come out on the other console after a time exclusivity deal, they pack in a lot of extra content and whatnot to make up for that. So there's no way they would just release the Tomb Raider version on PS4 with
just regular as version.
It's the same exact version as the Xbox. No, they wouldn't do that. Or it's the same version minus. No, they're not going to do that. It's gonna be here's the Xbox, here's the PS4 version, better frame rate stability, higher pixel count, maybe an extra cutscene here or there, or an alternative ending, and
because like look,
all that stuff.
By the
looking
way,
at it from go ahead, Rich.
oh no, and I was going to say, and by the way, to piggyback off of what Mike said, you can expect the exact same thing to happen when Ultra Street Fighter V comes to Xbox One after.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. After that Street Fighter V window, when Ultra comes out, or Super, or whatever they call it, and it's multi-platform, yeah, you're gonna see stuff like, oh, we're gonna give you these costumes for the people who missed out on vanilla Street Fighter V. They'll do stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's left to be seen. I was just playing devil's advocate, and I keep hearing this, the better version, because look at the last Assassin's Creed. Yes, the games were broken, but it was more broken on the PlayStation, which supposedly has the better hardware.
Frame rate.
It was more broken on the PC, which definitely has better.
Yeah, it was
come on, we're talking about the two consoles. We're talking about.
But even with that, yeah, like the PS4 has better hardware, but it's not universally better. There are aspects of the Xbox One that are better. And in addition, Ubisoft games have always performed better on Xbox. They just have. Honestly, for the longest, I'm still awaiting that news where I'm going to hear Microsoft buys Ubisoft or something stupid like that. I know they're huge now, but like their games, like even like the Rainbow and all that, like those are relevant on console because of Xbox. Splinter Cell.
Because I remember how big a deal it was that Rainbow Six ran so much better on the Xbox.
Yeah.
When it came out, Rainbow Six Vegas.
So it didn't really shock me that happened with Assassin's Creed, but it doesn't really matter. Unity was a mess on both, so even if it was a mess but slightly less of a mess on Xbox, that's not really a victory for Microsoft. It's just bad news for gamers, period.
And I think Damien was going to say Microsoft won't buy Ubisoft. I agree that probably won't happen, but what I can see happening is them making an exclusive IP for a Microsoft console.
I think the whole exclusive thing is gonna die soon. I think we're gonna get what we're getting now with time exclusive and content exclusive, but game-wise exclusive, unless it's a in-house first-party company, you're not gonna get exclusive games. Why I say Microsoft is not gonna buy Ubisoft is because Phil Spencer said it. They're not into buying studios. When you buy a studio, you buy their staff. You take on all their costs. Mm-hmm. They prefer to invest in IPs.
That's what they should do.
Just like they did with Sunset. What they did with Sunset Overdrive is what I would see happening for an exclusive Ubisoft development title.
Well, we all know Sunset Overdrive only became an exclusive because, come on, we all know that game was pitched to Sony first because those guys had a better relationship. But we
don't actually know.
Yeah, we don't know that.
But what happened is, when it's an exclusive with Sony and they publish it, they own it. And the guy said, Microsoft tell them they can keep their IP. Versus all the Ratchet and Clank and the other stuff where they were then owned by Sony. They said they wanted to keep their IP. So we know that played a major part in Sunset Overdrive being on the Xbox exclusive.
I don't know that to be a fact. It's not fact.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
And I mean, honestly, I kind of went off tangent when I said about the Ubisoft being bought thing. I was just saying, honestly, I don't think that'll happen. Like I said, Ubisoft is huge, but they tend to lean toward Xbox just because there's history there, and Xbox.
Ain't no history. It's money. Ain't no history.
No. I think
there's legitimately a history. Yeah.
The developers are more comfortable developing on an Xbox.
And they always have. That's the history I'm speaking on. Yeah, the fact that the Xbox console played a major part in Ubisoft being a console heavy hitter that it is now.
Wait, you guys remember the first time the first Assassin's Creed was shown last generation? It was supposedly a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, look how long. No, originally when Assassin's Creed was showed, it was people rumored it was
PlayStation exclusive.
And look what happened
with that. Was gone quick.
I guess I never really think of it that way because I never believed that Ubisoft would do that for PlayStation, so I never fell into that gap.
You know what's funny? And there's a reason you didn't believe that because you're like, why would they do that? Considering their history before that, where it was basically any exclusive they did make was on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Because Mike, I think too, if you remember, Ubisoft was big with Splinter Cell. Remember that was on the Xbox. Then there was the Rainbow series. Then there was
Far Cry got its start on Xbox.
Yeah.
Right. So and
console.
those cells sold better on the Xbox brand. So probably, like you said, the relationship is just still that good. But anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's all excellent points. But now I think it's time to get to one of the main courses. The main reason why we are all here today.
Yo, Charles, I hope
this
lives up to the hype, you know. I hope it lives up to the hype, dude.
Yes. So, of course, we have.
Hey, look, man, it's up to you to do that. I'm gonna carry my weight.
So, of course, we have a few things that these guys want to say. I know Charles, Gary, and David.
Hey, Rich, something wrong with your audio, dude.
How was it now?
Better know. It was coming in very hot.
It was fine for me. It's coming in. Oh,
I think it was echoing from.
Yeah, it was coming in kind of hot over here.
How's it now?
It's perfect.
Much better. Much better.
Perfect. Yeah, Google, get your shit together. Okay, so here we go. You guys, you got some things to discuss, debate. So, what's the first topic? I guess we're going to jump right into what you started earlier. You talk about the lack of exclusives on PlayStation 4 in 2015. So, Charles, Gary, and Damien, who wants to go first?
Do you want me to finish answering that question, Damien?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So like over the whole year, spread out. I was saying that we've got Bloodborne, we've got the Order, and to counter the statement about the Order, you may not want to count it, but those 500,000 sales still count, even if you.
No, let's say a million. Let's say a million. I think it sold a million, but no, I want.
No, it's probably sold a million. It's probably
you
sold a
have
million.
to count the order. You have to count the order.
Right, because like even if it, by some standards didn't execute in a certain way to some people, it's still sold. It's still an original IP that sold, and it's sold enough that they'll probably do another one and fix these issues that people had, which is what really counts for the Order. So we've got those two. We've got Until Dawn that's coming out. No Man's Sky is going to be coming out this year. Deep Down is coming down this year, even though potentially I guess it could get delayed, but I feel like it got delayed into this year. So hopefully it won't.
You think Deep Down is not coming this year?
I don't know. They've shown a whole lot more of it. And the thing is, the American version hasn't been shown as much, but I've seen a shit ton of the Japanese version of it. And localization is not going to be as long a process as the development of the actual game. So switching it over, I think it will come out this year at some point.
I think it will drop in Japan this year, but not over here.
Not in America. That could be true. Hopefully it comes out this year. But so those No Man's Sky, fucking what's it called? Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. The Tomorrow People I think comes out in spring. I don't know when Everyone's Gone to the Rapture comes out. It's not announced. It doesn't have a release date announced for it. But those games are out there. Those are ones that are definitely going to be coming out around this time. So, people say that they don't have exclusives. They don't have a lot of exclusives. Uh-oh, my voice is acting weird. They don't have a lot of exclusives coming out in the holiday season, but they definitely have more coming out throughout the whole year.
My thing is...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
My thing is with that is that, yeah, you mentioned some cool games there, but I feel like they're games that the mass audience don't care about. Like,
I'm gonna tell you something about that. The mass audience doesn't dictate.
Let him finish, Charles. That's your problem. You keep cutting him off. Let him finish. He let you finish. Let him finish.
Round one.
Go ahead.
You know what? Fuck it. Go ahead and finish. I'll just destroy y'all at the end of everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to finish that, I was gonna say, I feel like Microsoft has games that people care about, like the mass audience care about. Fable, Halo, and everything else they have dropping this year. They're games that are geared towards the mass audience. So I think more people are going to care about all those games. Like, a lot of people don't know about Deep Down, and all these other games coming out. So that's my thing on it. Sony might have other exclusives dropping this year, but Microsoft has the ones that everybody cares about. So that's my argument to that.
Damien, did you want to say anything before I respond?
I got something after you respond to.
Yeah, I completely agree with Gary, and that's why I think on the Xbox side they have the bigger AAA already established franchises coming, whereas like I think the biggest indie exclusive for the PlayStation that I think is coming this year is No Man's Sky. I don't see the big hoopla, but it seems to have a lot of hype and fanfare behind it, for whatever reason. But other than that, when you look, like I said earlier, you guys may not think it, but Fable is a big title. It sells millions of copies. You can check it and you'll see it's always a big seller. Then you have Forza, which seems to be the only consistent next-gen racer, which I anticipate Sony is going to announce Gran Turismo, but I feel we all know that's not going to come until 2020 because those guys take forever and a day. Then, of course, you got the King of the Year, which is going to be Halo, and then you got Tomb Raider to finish out the year. And like they said, they got some stuff coming in between. So let's look at what's coming in between. I'm seeing stuff like Inside. I have zero idea what the hell that is. That's that little indie game that came from that company. What did they do? Limbo?
Yep.
Right? We don't know when Scalebound is coming. It's still on the books for 2015. I don't think so. I think it's going to probably be delayed. There's that indie game that they showed a while back. It's not an exclusive, but it's coming first on the Xbox, which was below, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they got quite a little lineup, and I'm still checking to see what else. But Crackdown, well, we don't know when Crackdown is coming. So they got a good little lineup, I think, to counter Sony's lineup. The thing what we don't have is we don't have launch dates. Because what does Sony have coming next month?
I can look it up in a second.
I got something to say after you say what you got to say, Charles.
You can go ahead while I look this up real quick.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I think both these sides made some good arguments, but let me clear something up. Fable Legends is free to play, but they are experimenting with. If there's anything that's going to be making money from it, it'll be the transactions within the game. But to go back to what Michael A. said earlier, as we have already seen, PlayStation is still outselling Xbox, and it's not about the exclusives. It's about the third-party games that are better on PlayStation. Some games are 1080p. A lot of people make a big deal about that. I personally don't care about the resolution stuff, but for those that do, they want to have it in their mind to buy the better game on PlayStation 4. Case in point, The Witcher 3, 900p on Xbox One, 1080p on PlayStation 4. For some reason, a lot of people want the PlayStation 4 version thinking it's going to be a massive difference, even though CD Projekt Red said there is no major difference between 900p and 1080p. But for some reason, the third-party games are selling better on PlayStation 4, so the exclusive does not matter.
Rich. The third parties are selling because the PlayStation has 20.5 million PlayStations out there versus 11.8 Xboxes. If they don't sell better on the PlayStation, then something is wrong. The thing about this notion about the game is better. Right now, there are more Destiny players on the Xbox. It sold more on the Xbox.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not necessarily about the games. I think what happened is we're still in the whole hype thing. I was just in Miami, and this is what I saw. I'm hearing myself.
Wait, who on the show is listening through their speakers and not headphones?
I think it's Mike. Whenever
I
speak,
literally have Turtle Beach headphones on right now.
Because his thing is what's coming. But this is what I saw when I went to Miami. I went into a few malls. And you're walking through the mall and you see a GameStop and it's blue. When I walked in, the guy was like, this is what we have for the PlayStation 4 and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't have a PlayStation. I have an Xbox. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, down in the back. You see what I'm saying? So I asked, I'm like, okay, so, whoa, why am I here?
I think it's Mike.
But I'm muting myself. Like, okay, watch.
Okay, talk now, Damien.
Right, so I asked him, I'm like, why is it? I'm still hearing it.
Yeah, that's really weird. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, I'll mute myself and.
No, it's not you, Mike. It's not you.
Oh.
But I asked the guy, okay, why is it you guys seem to be pushing the PlayStation more? He said, well, if you remember, Microsoft was trying to get us out of the game by, having to cut back on the whole trade-in and that kind of stuff. So GameSpot is more pushing PlayStation. I was like, whoa, that's interesting. I was like, do you want to repeat that so I can record it? He's like, I can't repeat that for you to record it. So it's just what's being pushed. You see what I'm saying? You walk in and I'm sure you guys see GameStop every day. You walk past it's blue. It's a blue store.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll just.
And
sorry, go ahead,
come on, Charlie. If a mom or anybody who's walking in, okay, I want to buy a console for my kid, they're gonna push. All right, buy a PlayStation. It's just what they're doing.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's what it is because I've been to GameStops where the Xbox stuff was in front or that's what they pushed. I think it's more along the lines of just Microsoft still has not recovered from what happened before launch. People were, and it hurt them because people were actually super excited for the next Xbox because they saw the transition they made from the original to the 360 and thought this system is just going to be amazing. And then they made all these decisions that they didn't. Well, the first part isn't their fault. They made decisions that people hate, but are now embracing a couple years later, which is kind of funny.
It was bad time.
But I guess because Sony's doing it, it's fine, right? But outside of nobody cared about television on consoles until Sony decided they were going to put television on the consoles. Now it's awesome, right? But outside of that, they didn't themselves. This is Microsoft's fault. I don't know what they were thinking with this. They didn't flesh out the aspects that were benefited in terms of the gaming policies that people didn't like, the always online and all that. They didn't flesh out the game sharing policy they were going to have where you could basically be sharing games with up to 9 other people. They didn't flesh all this stuff out and make it public knowledge. That's Microsoft's fault. They're still recovering from that. Sony benefited from watching them drop the ball and say, well, let's run with it. Let's push ourselves as this gamer-friendly, consumer-friendly company in terms of the console department, obviously. And people are still eating that up. When I talk to a lot of Sony people, or when you read articles online, not even just from Sony fans, but from supposed game journalists on major sites talking about Sony, they talk about them as the console developer that's about the gamer, or the console developer where gaming comes first and all they care about is gaming. I'm like, that's not even empirically true. They're doing the same thing that Microsoft is doing. If you want to talk about a console that's all about games and nothing about games, you'd be talking about the Wii U right now. But of course, no one's doing that because you also want to watch television on your consoles now, and you want to listen to Spotify and music on your console and stuff. You know, the same things that people were saying they didn't want to do in 2013. In 2015, that's the standard.
Yep.
So unfortunately for Microsoft, they're still recovering from that. They're going to take a lot of L's. They may never actually catch up to Sony. I don't know because Sony is not slowing down, and they're doing this well without games. When the games come, I imagine it would only do better. Like when Uncharted drops, that's not going to be a downtime in PlayStation 4 sales. It's going to rise even more. Yeah, Xbox is going to push that. They're going to get pushed by Halo, but what happens after Halo? You don't have, and this isn't even a bad thing on Microsoft's part. There's no other console game for either of those two companies, at least. Nintendo's, they have Zelda and Mario. There's nothing on Xbox or PlayStation that matches Halo. So you put Halo out, you get a huge surge. You don't have any other IPs if you're Microsoft that's going to give you another huge surge like Halo. Gears isn't going to do it because that franchise pretty much died. I'll call it what it is. Forza is a racing title. That's a niche title.
I don't think Gears died.
Yeah, I think if they announce a Gears like this year at E3, that's like people are going to be anticipating that.
They've already said
it is going to be announced. It is going to be announced and it's going to be shown at this year's E3.
But what I'm telling you is that, like, even at Gears' peak, was Gears doing Halo numbers? No.
No, of course not.
Is the community as large, and does it have as much as an impact on gaming in terms of console sales and just viewership and attention? No.
Regardless of what it did in the past, though, I think because it's been on such a long break since we haven't seen a Gears game in a while now. I think that when it does drop, it's going to be in such high demand that people are really.
Depends on how it's shown. Depends on what they show at E3. It depends on that.
Honestly, I'd rather Microsoft just continue to focus on new IPs because that actually benefits the gamer.
Speaking of,
I don't
can
know
I
why.
jump in on that note?
Go ahead.
All right. So I didn't get to directly address the comments they had before because I wanted to let them finish. What the fuck is up with the sound? So annoying. All right. So to bounce off, I'm trying to remember everything. Scalebound, I agree with you. That's probably going to come out a little bit later. Hold on. Give me just a second.
But then Platinum Games is known for a little delay as well.
Okay. Another thing that I wanted to jump off of is I've already had the argument with Gary about the popularity contest, where the Xbox games, we're comparing games in their 5th, 6th, 7th iteration to a bunch of original IPs or indie games as far as PlayStation goes. So the balancing act that Sony has in their side is that with these original IPs, they have a significant higher install base. Many more consoles out there right there. So those could help influence the sales of these original IPs and make them bigger franchises going forward. Some of these are even timed exclusives. But if you want the popularity contest, you got it because you have Forza coming out. The whole Fable thing, though, we already mentioned that this isn't a Fable by what Fable, the standard they've set. This is going to be in that Destiny or Evolve arena where you're going to have people that don't know what they're getting into or people that are going to bash it before it comes out. This isn't going to be... I hope it sells like Fable does, but I don't think it will sell like Fable.
It's free. It is free.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't think people will play it as much. I'm talking about the amount of players. I don't think it's going to be as widely accepted as the Fable games were. It should be, because I like that format. I like the Evolve thing. I like what Destiny did, and I think that Fable format is good to have that kind of competitive arena, basically. But the Microsoft fans are going to be expecting just Fable, and they're not going to get that.
So then the flaw in gaming right now is the gamers.
Yeah, that's definitely.
We don't want change. And I said it the other day. Gamers don't like change. They need change. When change is given to you, we're like, oh, that's cool. But when it's announced, no, I don't want that.
Exactly.
Just give me better processor, more RAM, and a better GPU, and I'm good.
Yeah, and you know what? That has kind of been the case more so on Microsoft's side than Sony side. Because if we think back to the library that PlayStation 2 had, we weren't really talking about the sales of the individual games, but PlayStation 2 had a shit ton of games coming out for it. And you whatever you wanted to play, there was a handful of games that fit that
in that genre. Right.
You can have racing games, you can have your RPG, American RPGs, JRPGs, your strategy games, the whole nine. I was never wanting for a game when it came to the PS2, and the trend that I'm seeing on Sony versus Microsoft is that Sony is embracing more original IPs. I can't say as a fact that they just don't have the AAA titles, or I can't say for a fact the opposite. I can't say that they do and they're holding out on it, but I hope that is the case and that those bigger games will come later, because I'm perfectly fine with getting an order, Bloodborne, No Man's Sky, Tomorrow Children, Until Dawn. I'm perfectly fine getting these games that I haven't experienced before and supplementing my third-party games that I have, because it's like those are taken out of the equation because they're on both consoles. But I always have those to go to. Like, there's never been a moment, except for right before the holiday season last year, where I didn't have that many games to play. But it's been constantly games coming out. I have the third-party games coming out, and I have these games on PlayStation 4 coming out as well. I'm not even going to count PC because that shit would be unfair. I'm not even going to mention the stuff that comes out on there. But I don't, and just like Mike said, when Halo comes out, you don't have another Halo, not anytime soon. And I think what he was saying about Gears had the potential to reach Halo's level but they fucked up.
But they messed up. Yep.
They really messed up because I really expected Gears. Even like I played Gears, and I enjoyed the first two significantly, but they stumbled, and I really expected it to be Gears and Halo were going to be the Xbox like staples. But you can't even say that now. It's an exclusive, but Gears is not a system seller for Xbox anymore.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's because the first Gears sold 6.7 million, and that was the game that I think put the Xbox on the map.
No,
Okay.
what?
No.
Wait. Let me explain.
Wait. Let me
I know what you
before
mean
you
by
guys
that.
go off.
No, I know what you mean by that. I'm responding to that. I'm not saying you're talking like. I mean, for the Xbox 360, Gears 1 was the first big title. Basically.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
the
what.
360.
And
yeah.
he's not
That
wrong.
was at the E3. Everybody was, that's what they're doing on the Xbox.
He's not wrong in saying that. Here's my statement.
That's what I mean.
I'm not saying that Gears was never a console seller. I'm saying that Gears is no longer a console seller.
Right.
Yeah, Gears 1, Gears 2, so amazing. Gears 3, solid. What happened with Judgment? That was one of the biggest flops for a AAA title.
But that was just
never
a throwaway game, though. Like, that was just something.
And I'm not saying that it's not a throwaway. What I'm saying is that, okay, think of your mind. Think of the worst Halo game you can. In your opinion, think of the worst Halo game you can.
Halo 3.
ODST.
Now look at the sales of ODST. And honestly, ODST is not even bad to me. It's just not Halo because obviously you're not playing as Master Chief or you're playing as a regular ODST trooper.
I like the ODST more than 3 personally, but that's beside the point.
The sales of ODST, compare them to the sales of Judgment.
I'm checking it now.
I get what you're saying. Even the worst Halo is going to sell massive.
No. Judgment only sold 1.5. Like, that's a massive drop off from 6. Both the other 3 Gears sold. The Gears 1, 6.07. Gears 2, 6.72. Gears 3, like 6.5. So then you got Judgment, 1.5. Like something.
That is a huge fall off.
That's a huge fall off. But that's my point. Even the fall off for ODST, like it wasn't ODST sold very well. Like other games would wish they could sell as much as ODST.
But my point isn't
the highest one is Halo 3 at 12.2. Halo Reach 9.71, Halo 4 9.42, Halo 2 8.49, Combat Evolved 6.3, ODST 6.3 million.
That was the bottom.
The one that had the significant was Halo Wars, and that still did 2.5.
There you go.
Look, listen. My point wasn't that Gears of War is going to be Halo level exclusive because Halo is
nothing.
Like
nothing. It's an elite by itself. Only Call of Duty is up there.
And I think that's the point. That's the point that Mike is making is that they can't get from that drop off from 6 to 1. He doesn't see them going from 1 to 6.
Exactly.
I do because you have to remember what Gears of War means to a lot of people though, because that was the game last generation that let you know you was in a new generation. So imagine.
And Gary, add to what you're saying too, Gary. Remember, people also know Epic did not make Gears of War Judgment. Cliffy B had nothing to do with it. Hey, Rob, what you do with it? I think people are now hyped because Rob is back in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cliffy B's not there, but Rob is in the driver's seat, and Rob has taken.
Wait, question. You're saying people are hyped because Rob's in the driver's seat? Yeah. What people? What are you talking about?
The original Gears fans. Those 6 million.
No, the average gamer doesn't know who he is. You're talking about diehard Gears fans. You're making my point.
No. When Microsoft bought the IP from Epic, they announced it, and Rob is back in charge of Gears.
Okay, you're not understanding what I'm telling you. I know that he's there. Diehard Gears fans know that he's there. People who pay attention to games news knows that he's there. The mom and dad going to buy an Xbox this holiday season for their son don't know who he is. The little kid that's 12, 13 don't know who he is. Those people account for the vast majority of sales.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. These little kids that make up a large part of the multiplayer community don't know who he is, and they're not going to be asking their parents for Gears of War, most likely.
And that's what I'm telling you.
These are the same kids researching online and know, okay, the original guy is back.
What I'm trying to explain to you is this. Even if all the diehard Gears fans, said, "Oh, day one, I'm gonna go get Gears 4," if all of them bought it, if all the diehard I love Gears fans that, oh, I remember, no, that's not going to be enough for Gears to get back to where it was.
You're
To be a
forgetting
game
one
of that
thing, though.
title, you have to have pop culture influence. Halo has influence outside of video games. There are people who have never played video games that know what Halo is. Gears is on the road to getting to that path, and they stumbled. And I don't see them recovering that. Because now the only people that are hyped for Gears are the people we just said. The people who loved Gears in the past, the diehard fans. Diehard fans are never the majority of the people that buy your game. That's what I'm saying.
But
I'd say Uncharted has a bigger fucking pop culture influence now than Gears. Like,
But aren't Microsoft good at marketing, though? That's where marketing comes in. And aren't Microsoft
The point
good
is
at
that they
marketing?
already messed up with the marketing of Gears.
How? It hasn't even been
Do you
announced.
mean it? No. Just the whole brand. Because when you're looking at these games, we're talking about the entire brand, not just individual games. Because like Halo is a brand. You have a TV series. You have books. You have it's ridiculous how high at a point that Halo is, and it's never been debated. Like because it can't be debated.
But
There is no
They
Halo
didn't own Gears,
on.
though.
No,
Until
you think-
now.
yeah, at the
Well,
time,
right.
he's right. They didn't at the time.
That's true, but you're thinking that them owning it will make that much of a difference now?
Yes.
I think it would have made more of a difference before Judgment came out.
Yeah, but they didn't own it then.
But
Okay,
people don't care about that, though.
People know Ready of Dawn is who made it, and people like, who? That's not Cliffy D.
Dog, people don't care about these individual companies. Like the average person does not care.
People do. That's why people are saying, who's making Call of Duty? Oh,
You do realize that.
I don't know.
You do realize. Okay, you say that, right? Those Treyarch Call of Duty games, how much are they selling? They're still selling more than pretty much everything else on the market.
Yeah, and Treyarch was the arguable worst company out of those three.
Yeah, but you know what they brought? Isn't Treyarch the people who put zombies in Call of Duty? That pretty much changed Call of Duty and opened it up to a new branch of fans that may not have liked the online competitive scene for Call of Duty, but loved the cooperative play.
But like, when Judgment was coming out, did they promote it like they promoted the other Gears games?
No, they did not. They didn't.
Not like, no,
Exactly.
not like
No, they
Exactly.
didn't.
But Judgment had more advertising, more marketing than a lot of those damn Sony games that come out at the same point in time.
Well,
I
that's
argue
because
it had
Microsoft
more
has better marketing than Sony.
Yes,
Well.
and yet the game did poorly because
It was the same thing like the last God of War game.
What, Ascension?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
It's
much
the
that
same thing.
same.
Pretty much the same thing, and they both
You
sold
knew you
pretty
wasn't
much the
getting
same
real
numbers.
deal. That's why people didn't buy it, because they knew it wasn't the real deal.
But here's the funny thing, you should not have used God of War Ascension. That's a bad example. I'll explain to you why.
No,
it's
that's
bad
a
example.
perfect example.
No,
That's a
No, let him finish.
Let me explain to you why it's a bad example. Sony does not, at least last gen, did not market games pretty much at all. They just really didn't. God of War Ascension was very badly marketed.
And we can say the same
and
thing
this-
about
Let him
Judgment.
finish. Let him
In
finish.
comparison to Judgment, are you telling me that Judgment did not have more marketing power and money put behind it than God of War Ascension? I promise you, they put more money into marketing Judgment than God of War Ascension because they had higher expectations of the sales for that, and yet they sold about the same amount. How does that happen for a franchise that's supposed to be on the verge of becoming a console seller? It was one of the biggest games from last gen, and
It wasn't
that's how
hard
it
to
ends.
see what you were getting. Like, you were getting something that's not the same as the other Gears. People knew that. It didn't have a number in the title, for one thing. So people automatically knew.
But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, ODST didn't have a number in the title.
It was.
But that's Halo. You can't really say this. You can't compare it because Halo.
And they did a lot of pushing for ODST because I remember when they
But
just
the argument.
fans were like, I don't
Okay,
know.
let's
They-
take that
They
argument.
market the crap out of ODST.
This isn't an exclusive. It's a third-party RPG. Okay, Metal Gear Solid has come out with games that had no number after the title. Those games still sell because it's Metal Gear Solid. You see my point?
Yeah, but then
anything.
that's a cult classic like Metal Gear has a
Yeah,
cult
that's got a
following.
huge cult
The
following.
argument,
right?
y'all are making a point for him. The
You're
argument
making my point.
Gears is not that.
It's
Well,
not.
that it can't recover as well as those.
But this is what Gary's
And
saying.
let me say this. Let me say this in addition. I'll say
It's
this.
gonna get there.
Let me say, okay, two things. A, when you call a game a large, you say a game like Metal Gear has a large cult following, that doesn't make any sense. You can't have a cult following and be a game that sells millions. You're one of the best-selling games on consoles.
Yeah, that
You're not a cult. You're not a cult following anymore. Congratulations, you're a popular game. Metal Gear Solid is a popular game. People on Xbox, they were gonna buy that. It's even though it was not there for MGS4. Like, it's a huge game. That's number one. Number two, I understand that you guys are saying it's going to get there. I'm just simply disagreeing and explaining to you why. I see nothing in the Gears of War franchise, and especially in the Gears of War community and fans. I'm sorry. That community is completely against the idea of making a game to bring more people in or bring people back. They literally want Gears 4 to be Gears 1.
Gears 1.
That's what they want. In fact, they're asking for a Marcus Phoenix collection, and they want them to make. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why not let them work on 4 and just push all their efforts into 4? Because I'm gonna be honest, they put out a Marcus Phoenix collection. It's not gonna sell very well. I wouldn't buy it.
Well,
Why?
None of those collections ever sell well.
Well, let me just say this.
Master Chief collection sold pretty well, even with the issues, which is kind of sad when you think about it.
Let me say this.
2 million.
Let me say this real quick. Rod has already said they're not working on that collection because a fan asked him on Twitter. He said, "No, we're not doing that. We're working on the new Gears of War game."
Smart man. Thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is Black Tusk is not working on it. But then you have, and this has always been my problem with Microsoft. It's like you always hearing two stories because then what's that other guy, Aaron Greenberg, is coming out and saying, well, we're going to announce something. Stay tuned. What the hell? What the hell? It's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. If it's not Black Tusk, then it doesn't matter.
That's true.
I think that's just more a line of what a lot of problems with gamers, and I may even fall victim to this too. Instead of just spending time playing games and enjoying games, we spend almost too much time
being journalists.
Yeah, and not even being proper journalists, because a lot of gaming journalists.
We want to know what's going on.
That's not even that. It's just that a lot of gaming journalists or gamers, they put what they think something should be or will be forward first, and then they go hunt for information and stuff to support that. That's not how journalism works. That's not how nothing. That's how nothing that works that's supposed to be scientific or rationally thought. You take the information present and then you make a decision. You don't make a decision and then look for biased information to support that decision. That's what gamers do. So like we'll say, oh, we want this game to come out. We want this game to come out this way. So we go look up for rumors and anything to support this. And then when it doesn't happen, we're disappointed. It's like, but why? Why not just sit back and let the games come to you? Why not sit back and say, oh, I want to play a new Gears. It's been a while since a new Gears is coming. Let me just play Gears 3. Let me even, if I really, really want to support, let me go support Judgment and show them, yo, there's still interest in Gears. Put out Gears 4. Make a new Gears 4. But the the Gears community won't do that. They just keep pestering them. Yeah, make a new Gears. You really just need to remaster Gears 1, though. Why would I be motivated as a game developer to make a new entry to an IP, and you're telling me to just make it like Gears 1? Why? I don't want to do that. That's boring to me. In addition, I know that if I was to release Gears 1 in 2015, those mechanics are outdated.
Oh, hell yeah.
The peer-to-peer systems that made the weapons as imbalanced as they were, so people just nashered and ran forward and only used Lancer if they had host, you can't do that now. People demand dedicated servers. Like, these are things that they're going to try.
You said 5 minutes ago, Mike, gamers do not want change. What was the reason? Halo 4, the gameplay, was one of the best Halos I played. I personally think it was actually the best one. People complained, oh, they put too much stuff in it. They put these shields and these barriers, and he got jetpacks and he can do this. You're like,
you're talking about Halo 3?
Halo 4.
Halo 4.
That's what the fans were complaining about. Oh, they try to make it too much like Call of Duty. Like, huh? What?
Yeah, they don't understand.
Like you want the game to stay in the, you know what I'm saying, how it was back in 1999 when it initially came out. Like, no,
but that's what I'm trying to explain to you. The difference between Halo and Gears. The Halo fans that are saying that are not the majority; they're the minority. That vast majority, you gotta remember, there's people who play Halo just for the story because they love the story of Halo. So for them, that stuff wouldn't matter. Gears doesn't have that luxury.
Which is why
Gears,
ODST did so well because of the story.
Exactly, because of the story. People want as much Halo story as they can get. It's a deeper franchise than Gears. That's just a fact. With Gears, it's that online community. That's it. And unfortunately for them, that small vocal voice for the online community, that's their entire Gears community. There's not a lot of other people outside of that, or at least they're not counted for some reason in Gears, which maybe the Gears community needs to work on. I don't know.
My point is, like, regardless of, you know, how the Gears of War audience was previously, when they show that game at E3, and, you know, people see Marcus Phoenix or whoever is going to be in the game, and they see the graphics, people are going to get excited for the Gears of War brand again.
I don't think they're getting 6 million excited, but we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that.
It will be a system seller, and especially because Sony probably won't have any exclusives around the time, so people will be buying that system.
Around what time? Like you know what's crazy? It blows my mind that you would even say that. Like you're talking about the theory of a Gears of War game coming out. You don't have any idea when it's coming out, but you just know that Sony is not gonna have a fucking exclusive.
Hey, I'm just going on what I've seen the past 2 years. Like,
nah, you're going off conjecture. You know what it is. You're doing what Mike just said. You creating some little fallacy in your head and just trying to run with it. You're gonna research the shit out of that when that release date come out.
But can you blame me for being mad though? I bought a PS4 and I haven't had it like.
Can I blame you for being mad? You know what? Wait, no. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Wait. I can blame you for being mad because the Sony, both of the consoles, like I said this, they both shit on us last year. Like there weren't like if you only talked about exclusives, and then the ones that y'all should have been jumping behind, people didn't even get behind and they didn't even sell that well. Forza Horizon 2 didn't even sell as well as it should have.
It should have. It really should.
It should have. Everything I heard about that game, I don't have an Xbox. Everything I've heard about that game is that it was absolutely amazing. And I didn't look at the sales because of people telling me that. Like Mike, I trust what Mike says about a racing game. So I was like, this is dope. And then I looked at the sales. Somebody told me that Drive Club outsold Forza, and it blew my fucking mind because I was like, how did that even happen?
More PS4s.
Right. It not only that, but like it didn't even get close to the install base.
Yeah.
Not even half the install base of an Xbox. But that game is good. Like it didn't come out with a bunch of issues. They keep adding more content. They've got this DLC that is pop culture influence coming out, but it didn't sell. I don't understand how that works.
But I got a question though, Charles.
Okay, after Damien, I got something to say about Drive Club. Go ahead.
I would say I'm in a community and it's about 20 of us own an Xbox One. Right. And none of us own a physical game.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I do not.
And no, my thing is where they're tracking physical sales, but nobody is tracking digital sales.
Yeah,
most of the people I know with Xboxes, they buy games digitally. They download their stuff. They complain about the hard drive being full and happy for the external drive. So who's tracking the digital sales?
Can I respond to that?
I want you to.
NPD does track digital sales.
Yeah,
even if they don't put it in the first week, they actually put it in the notes that this is the physical copies and these are the digital sales tallied up. Where are you getting that information from?
Yeah. They've been tracking.
I don't really do that. I go VG charts because I don't look at the first two.
Wait. Even then, like that. Okay, you said VG charts.
If never use VG charts,
but still, they inflate based on digital sales. So like. Where are you getting that information from?
Do they?
Yes, they do. The issue that people have with VG charts is because they inflate everything.
Yeah, they take numbers and guess.
Yeah, they take the numbers and they guess, but they include digital sales because it pads the numbers.
VG charts isn't accurate until years after the game has come out and the sales will kind of die down because then they go get the official numbers.
Yeah, digital sales count, man. Like you're not gonna make the argument that like Forza sold such and such subpar physical.
No. I think it didn't sell nearly as well. But I know a lot of the Drive Club was because it was packed in. Like I have friends who
no.
Packed in.
Packed in with what?
Acting with what? There was no free version.
No, not the one that was canceled. In the UK, I know there was a lot of bundles. Drive Club was bundled into the PlayStation.
Do you know the difference in UK sales versus American?
Well, Europe. Let me don't say UK. Europe.
I mean, Europe even. It is a pretty substantial drop off from American sales to European sales. Even though racing games.
No. Is Europe is why the PlayStation has such a significant lead.
But those numbers don't show in MPD though.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Europe has their own weekly charts, just like Japan does. I'll say two things. A, I agree wholeheartedly with what he just said about Forza. To me, it's like people demand good games, and then they come. And I know the argument can be made that this is my opinion of a good game. That's true. But I mean, seriously, like Forza did what you're supposed to do in a racing game. It gave you a story, which was shocking. They gave you beautiful visuals. They gave you tons of cars and content. They keep expanding on it at a fair price. The online service works very well. The Drivatar AI system works very well. Mm-hmm. I think what hurt Forza was the fact that it came out and there was a bunch of other racers that came out. Because it came out, then you had Drive Club, then you had the crew came out.
The crew came out too.
Yeah, the crew came out that time as well. I'm not saying the crew so well.
But you know what? That could be accurate because of open world racing versus another open world racing.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
With Ubisoft's marketing behind it,
there was tons of competition there. And then people were hyped up still for Project Cars, but that was before the delay. So that's
going to come out in a window by itself. I think it'll do well.
To respond to what Gary was saying you know what, Gary? I'm going to be honest with you. You guys know I have a PS4 now, and I share your pain. Because on my PS4, outside of Dragon Ball, the game I played the absolute most is Warframe. That's what I play on my PS4. And do you know what's funny? I got my mastery rank to 12. I'm back on the Xbox playing Warframe, trying to get my mastery rank up there. I love the game that much. But outside of that, like I'm looking at the games coming this year. Everyone was telling me to get Bloodborne. I'm like, I would, but like games like that, like, to me, aren't fun. Just because, like, when I watch people play it, I fall asleep. I know, it's just not for me. I know what I would have to do to beat that game. I wouldn't find that.
That's why I didn't play Shadow of Mordor. I was watching it being twitched. I fell asleep. I said, nope, not getting.
I love Shadow. I love Shadow.
Shadows is underrated,
I love Shadow. That was my game of the year. If I had anything last year, but no, it was just that for me, outside of, and I'm not even saying Bloodborne's bad. For people that like it, hey, I'm happy you guys are enjoying it. What I'm saying is that for me, since I don't care about Bloodborne, and Order was. To me, it was way too short of an. I'm not saying it was terrible. It was too short of an experience. There's nothing else this year that I can think of that I'm going to be buying on PS4. I was going to get Uncharted just to experience it. That got pushed back. I'm not sure when No Man's Sky is coming. Is that this year?
Yes, but we don't know. We don't have a release date yet.
So we don't have a release date. So that might be it. I don't really have much. I'm not playing my PS4. I'm on my Xbox and 3DS all the time.
And just to point out, like with Gary, the issue that I had with you about being mad now, because like if it would have been just like last year, because we agreed then, because I even said it with Rich, if you're just now buying a PlayStation 4, when we were talking about this in the holiday season, you haven't missed anything, and I agreed with him on that. The issue is you started trashing Sony in the beginning of this year when Xbox didn't really have that much shit coming out, and PlayStation did have stuff coming out. So
but Microsoft had a great fall. Like they had a great fall.
Yeah, that is actually true.
You said they had. No, they did have a great fall. So like the fact that you're targeting Sony after that is the issue. Okay, we already agreed on the fact that they had a terrible fall. You know what I'm saying? And then. Like, I don't even believe it was as bad as other people said because nobody believes me when I say the Drive Club fucking works now. And it's
I still got to get on Drive Club, but go ahead.
I'm not paying money for Drive Club. They can kick rocks on that. But, I don't know. To me, it's just, while I am disappointed and I feel your pain, like, it was a decision I made. Like, looking back, I was considering getting another Wii U. It was Wii U or PS4. I decided PS4 because I thought, I didn't know.
I was right there with him.
Was going to pick up this many games this year that I was going to want. If I was Miss Cleo, I'd have had that Wii U. I'd have been happy. But at the same point in time, I mean, Sony will have games. We know this. It's just now you're in a situation where you just have to wait, and that kind of sucks. I'm not going to hold that against them unfairly. but I mean, it does. To me, it sucks.
And that still depends on the type of gamer that you are, which that's something that I'm not gonna agree with y'all on. And I mean, y'all can, Damien, me and you had the conversation about indies. We can have that conversation all day, every day. But and then another thing, I want to point this out to y'all. There are 2 games that y'all can mention for Xbox One getting announced, exclusive and timed exclusive, that would dead any fucking argument versus PlayStation 4 and Xbox. But y'all are so dead set against fucking indie that y'all won't even make the argument and find that out.
I'm not dead set against indie.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Damien.
I count indie. It's just that I don't count
it's just me.
Exclusives. I don't count them as exclusives because
no. Gary, when me and Gary had that co-op battle, he made it where we didn't even count fucking indie titles for the most part in that discussion.
No, because at that time, my argument was the exclusives for this year on both consoles that were like mainstream popular.
Right.
That's going to sell the systems.
The AAAs.
Yeah, that's going to sell the systems.
And not to mention, I mean, honestly, and I know people are going to laugh at me for saying this, the indie gap between Xbox and PS4 is closed. It's pretty much closed now. Xbox has done a lot. They've done a lot to make it great with this one.
Yeah, like there's been announcements the last month that really closed that gap. Sony's potentially working on one of them that might open that gap up a little bit further.
We'll see.
If they get Star Citizen as an exclusive, that's a big.
That would be huge. That'd be huge for Sony. I'd give them props for that.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and give y'all
the fact that they lost that one. What was it that they lost? That now there's a chance that PlanSide 2 is coming to Xbox as well. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, because of SOE.
Yeah, I'm like,
no, it's not. It is going to come to Xbox.
Oh, I didn't know they officially announced it.
It's not officially.
No, they haven't. But the guy said he's eager to build games on the Xbox One. So
that doesn't mean
that's still assuming.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an official announcement. Like stuff like that, I'm like, what is going on? What happened to Sony being the indie box and the Xbox? Like indies hated them. Why is it switching? I guess Microsoft's, and that's a good thing for the gamers. You know what I mean? More games, more people get to play them. It's just that to me, I didn't buy a console to play. If indie games were that important to me, why would I be playing on a console? I'd be playing.
That is my point. I would play them on a little crap box. That's what I'm saying. I didn't pay.
But you know what?
I didn't pay $400.
No. I understand.
I'm enjoying Ori and the Blind Forest, but that is not why I bought an Xbox One.
Let me tell you something about fucking indies real quick, because I understand what Mike is saying, but you ain't finna buy no fucking crap box to play Elite Dangerous or Gigantic, which are two biggest indies.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. No, you're gonna have to put some money down.
People need to understand that these are AAA level fucking indies, and they're getting AAA budgets because people support them, and they are coming out on these consoles.
Those indies are not the norm for indie titles. Let's be honest. Most indie titles.
But they are becoming more of the norm than they were before.
It is happening more. A lot of games are going to crowdsourcing and whatnot, and that's a good thing. It is people support with their money games they want to see be made.
Yeah, and the thing is, we got to look at this right now. Basically, we are in that zone where these stretch goals for these games that hit on Kickstarter, these games are about to be coming out in the next 2 years for these consoles because they reach those stretch goals. So, people hate on indie right now, but I bet money they won't be arguing with that shit next year.
I think it's just but we'll see. What's going to happen is this perception and definition of indie will change, as we've already seen it start to happen.
Or hopefully they'll actually go with the actual definition of indie. Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't know what that is yet.
When I look at console, it might be because I'm old or older. I don't really know. But I've been gaming for so long. When I think of what I would on a title, on a console, I think of a console exclusive experience because that's what I would want from them. I don't really need, and that's my problem with Microsoft and Sony right now. There's too many.
They don't have it.
Yeah, they don't have an identity. It's just, let's port over PC titles to our console. Let's take indie titles. If you're Microsoft, you just take PC titles and put them on there. And if you're PlayStation now, you just take indie titles, which are also PC titles, and you put them on there. I'm like, okay, that's cool. What's your identity as a damn console, though? Like, what do you do different than everyone else? Because in all honesty, there is no difference between you and a weak-powered PC. And there's not even really a difference between Xbox and PS4, which is why I don't really understand why the fans hate each other so much. They have the same exact philosophy on games. It's just that Microsoft tends to try and do it first, and then people hate them, and then Sony does it, and everyone fucking loves it.
No, you know what? When the announcements were made, even before they retracted it, my statement about what Microsoft did was that was poor fucking timing.
Yeah.
Like it was bad timing, and it was worded wrong, and some of the finer details, like the amount of time between when you can log on to the system or whatever, like every 24 hours, those types of things, they should have sat down and had somebody think about that shit more often. They fucked that up.
That's what I'm saying. Or, and this is me coming from me because I'm someone just trying to get in the industry. I'm like, how do you have someone who supposedly has a degree and knows how to speak with people, and when presented with the point of, oh, well, this person can't use this service, you tell them, go play the old one. Why would you say something like that on camera? There's no justification for that. That is stupid. That is beyond dumb. I'm sorry if that's too crude, or I'm being honest. I'm not a Microsoft hater. I like all three of the companies, honestly. I like Microsoft. I actually have had very great experiences on Microsoft consoles and games. So when I'm seeing him say that, I literally said, well, we're fucked. That's the first thing I said when I said that. And I'm not even like a Microsoft fan. The moment he said that, I said, we are fucked. I put myself in that. So like,
Mike, you didn't see him signing his own pink slip when he said that?
It wasn't even about that. Because, even if he got fired, that wouldn't stop people from remembering that the statement was made. People are that's the problem with a lot of these companies. Oh, we'll just fire him to cover it up. That doesn't cover up anything. No. It's already there. They fired the Adam, what's his name, dude, for saying deal with it. Did that change the fact that people remember that? No. Those things are still linked to Xbox right now. That's what's hurting them right now. They're probably never going to get over it for this generation. That's just
Phil Spencer is the ray of light.
Yes.
But yeah, I got two things to say because like my whole life I've been that quiet guy at the party that gets outshined by the loud guys, and that's been happening to me on podcasts for like the past couple of weeks. So I just want to make these 2 points. Then you guys can disagree, argue, or say whatever you want to say after that. I just need to get these 2 points out.
Get them out.
So firstly, Charles, just to bounce off of the argument we was having before. Okay, so I bought my PlayStation 4 last year around March.
Terrible decision.
And the only real exclusive worth playing then was Infamous Second Son. And that game was like 4 hours. And then, for like literally the whole year after that, there wasn't really any major exclusives. And, I'm a PC gamer. So a lot of games, a lot of the indie games and a lot of the other games that come out on PS4, I already have access to them because I have a PC. So, like, because I have a gaming PC, I can see how gassed up the PS4 really is because, they're relying on a lot of indie developers and a lot of third-party developers when, a lot of these games have already been available or they're available on the PC. So to me, it just seems like Sony are just gassing up their console when they really don't have a lot of stuff, out. And the second point I want to make is in terms of Drive Club. Now, this is just a theory, but, because, they see the success of Forza and they wanted Drive Club to be that game that shits on Forza. But it came out, and even though it sold well, in terms of quality, it was kind of a flop. But the game has gotten better since then, and they spent all this time adding updates to it to make the game better. And they cancelled the PlayStation Plus edition, right? So here's what I think: this year, fall, they're going to drop the PlayStation Plus edition, so they're going to recycle the same exclusive twice to try and compete with Forza, because they know Gran Turismo ain't coming out for like 3 years, so they're going to try and recycle the same game twice to compete with Forza. And that's how gassed up the PS4 is in terms of exclusive. And it's only been March 2012 is the first real exclusive that came out that was worth playing and buying for the PS4, and that's Bloodborne.
Okay.
2012.
Can I?
2015.
Oh, whoa.
Can I respond to his statements, please?
Respond.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Gary with that ether.
First off, you sound a lot like someone else coming at me about something that happened a year ago in March when I didn't own a PlayStation 4 because I didn't feel like it was worth it to have one at that time. So the fact that you bought one then, I'm not about to argue with you about not having games then. That was your own fault. We're talking about PlayStation right here and now. We're talking. Matter of fact, we're talking about PlayStation and Xbox right here now. And also, I've already mentioned, if I talk about PC games, it makes both the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 ultimately irrelevant to me. But flat out. Like you say that only applies to Sony, like they're gassing up their system. Both of these survive off of a lot of games that come off PC. Mike just said this. They both do. When you look at the games that are only on these consoles, can you come up with 5 that on both of them each that are only on those consoles right now?
Yeah, but it would take.
I know Microsoft have a hell of a lot more than Sony does.
Do you know that, or are you just saying that because you
Sunset Overdrive is not on PC.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually, when you look at this
Forza is not on PC.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I'm still waiting.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
Master Chief Collection isn't on PC.
The collection isn't, but a lot of those individual games are. So be more specific. That'll help you out, actually.
No, only 2 of them are.
I'm thinking about this just generation because on PC you only have Halo 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't put 3 and 4 on PC. They didn't put Halo. Was Halo Wars on PC? I don't believe that it was. I could be wrong on that.
I don't know about Halo Wars actually.
Reach was not on PC. ODST wasn't on PC. But those games weren't this generation.
So, of course, the Halo franchise counts as one of the ones that's not on there. Just like the Uncharted franchise counts as one that's not on PC. I counted those 2. That's definitely.
See, that's I'm not. You gotta remember, I'm making this separate argument. I'm saying this generation, the games that have come out, I can see Gary's point with Xbox having more exclusive this generation that have not been on PC than PlayStation.
But then when you look at the actual amount,
it's probably the other way around. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Like you think that's the case, but like, do you really know how close that number actually is? Because
it's really close. It's about the same, honestly.
Yeah, because if you, like I said, if I talk about PC and I start looking at the PC exclusive, it shits on both consoles. And when you look at the consoles, it is much closer than people actually let out to be. And when me and you did that co-op battle, I listed off the games and I said in that battle, the number is a lot closer than you thought it was, isn't it? When you take out like all the indies and all that bullshit, like, the actual console exclusives, like just on the console, is not that big a fucking difference.
Well, all I know is that there's more exclusives that I'd want to play on Microsoft than there is on PS4.
All right, that's cool. There's more exclusives on PlayStation 4.
I don't think I can't even. I think people are missing how big of a deal it is to hear someone like Gary say that. Because if I remember correctly, Gary grew up playing PlayStation games. Like he used to always prefer PlayStation. And so for him to stand here in 2015 when the PS4 is beating the Xbox One and say, as a gamer who just cares about games, there are more games on the Xbox to play that I want than the PlayStation.
But you know what? He says that, but he doesn't actually know that though.
I do, because I see what's coming out.
He bought his PlayStation in March and didn't have shit to play until fucking December. I'd be mad too if I bought a PlayStation 4 in March and then I didn't have anything. I'd probably be so mad that I'd be against the console and not really think about the fact that the numbers are actually closer than I've been saying they are in these podcasts.
But as a consumer, it doesn't look close to me because
people act like I never owned an Xbox. I owned every Xbox, even though there's only 3. I owned every Xbox except for Xbox One. I had an Xbox 360 and I had a regular Xbox alongside my PlayStation device. I didn't decide to not get an Xbox One until I saw the games that were coming out for it. I like the ones coming out on PlayStation 4 more than the ones coming out on Xbox. That is my opinion. But I'm defending the fact that y'all keep throwing up all this different conjecture and bullshit about, Microsoft has a ton of fucking games more than PlayStation, when that's not even the fucking case. And then y'all take these individual criteria, like you can't count this, and you can't count that, and you can't count this. I have games to play. That is the base of the statement. I have games to play. Since I've gotten control of a PlayStation 4, I've always had games to play.
And I can say the same thing with the Xbox One.
I just got one thing.
That's cool. I'm not coming at y'all. Like, look at the arguments being made. I'm not coming at y'all saying Microsoft doesn't fucking have games. I'm defending the PlayStation having games because y'all are the ones that are taking that stance. And it's like, and not just YouTube, because YouTube have a more rational approach to it when y'all say it, but there are other people that come at like soon as a PlayStation game comes out, they got beef with it, and I'm like, for what? You don't have the console, or you don't care about the console. So when these games come out, shut up, play your own games. You have games, so play your own games. Why are you worried about the games that are coming out that we don't have on PlayStation?
Well, you know what though? That argument, that same exact argument, for the ones that say Xbox doesn't have any good games.
That's true as well.
I understand that.
I look at Charles right now. It's like I see myself like 5 years ago. I see it. Or I was just inconsistency and the lack of logic a lot of people would have. And all I can say to you is, it's not going to get better. Like, these people are going to keep doing this. Like, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, here's the flaw in your argument, and I'm presenting the flaw to you. What they're doing is covering their ears and yelling at you. They can't hear what you're saying. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you this because I'm your friend. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if me and you don't agree on everything in gaming, but we listen to each other and we learn something from that. These people aren't like that. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. They're going to keep, whenever a Sony game comes out, if they're an Xbox fanboy, they will shit on it. Because that's what fanboys do. When an Xbox game comes out and they're a Sony fanboy, they will shit on it because that's what fanboys do. This is it's their job at this point.
But you know what my issue is now with the gaming industry? That level of thinking now has gotten to the journalist level, where you have these so-called journalists who are basically now picking sides and shitting on games for absolutely no reason.
You know what? That is true.
That is the problem I have.
And whenever I see anything that I feel like is going that direction, if I respect you enough, because like Gary and Damien, like, I respect y'all enough that I will come on here and have this discussion with you. There are other people I'm not going to have this discussion with, and I don't care if I can have this discussion with. But I believe that y'all are more rational than they are, at least.
Let me tell you, Charles, I've been arguing video games from the NES and Genesis days, okay? Everybody's going to defend their plastic. Everybody's going to defend their purchase choice.
Don't say everybody.
I like Nintendo. I had a friend named Duncan who liked Sega, and we would go at it, you know? Yeah, they got a better CPU, but they ain't got colors, so their game look like trash. Okay, it don't slow down as much as the Super Nintendo. All right, fine. You see what I'm saying? So we've been arguing from then. I like a good debate. I don't like bullshit. And when people just come on here and yeah, that's not a debate. A debate is you say your piece, I say my piece, you defend what you said, I defend what I said. At the end of the day, we can all say good debate, enjoy your day, and we can still talk and act like civilized people.
All I'm going to say to that is that time pan, my entire time pan in gaming, I've been spending it mostly playing video games. I don't really argue that much. And it's because I went through that time span where I was trying to explain my stance, and people would, because honestly, even if you're objective, when you are encountering people who aren't, they're going to attack you. And they're attacking you not because you are objective, they're attacking you because you don't share their line of beliefs. That's just how it is.
And to me, I find both sides of the aisle have those people. Both sides.
No, I'm not saying, both sides do.
And my point is it's very childish, and it makes you look at it and say, what has become of this hobby that we grew up on, that we love, that we care about?
I don't even think it's the issue with the hobby itself. I think it's the people that have been given a platform to speak, because those people have always been there. We just didn't have to hear them before, but we hear them now.
True.
They didn't have influence on the market. Now we hear them. Now they have an influence. And
you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go drop a comment on N4. Go drop a comment on N4G or you'll see what happens.
When I wake up and I start going through game sites, I start with the Coalition. I go to IGN, and then I would probably check out like even VG charts. I would check before I go to N4G, because N4G is a site, and the creators of that site set it up to make money. And basically what they do is they prey on the Sony fans. They're the most vocal, they're the most, creative out there. So just put up something and they'll run with it. And we can go and say, hey, we get 2 million hits per day because of just Sony fans. So I don't really even consider N4G decent site to go to. They put up what they know people gonna click on.
So I just want to say, I know we are about to run a little low on time. We'll continue this conversation, but I believe that Michael A. wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct real quick.
All right, yeah, I'll make it real quick because I know people here, like you guys don't play, or not all of you, not in the podcast, but like that are watching this, you guys don't play Nintendo games because you guys aren't gamers like that. You guys want to look at you guys count pixels and frame rate. Anyway, yeah. So the Nintendo Direct happened a couple days ago, and I'm still kind of recovering from it because there was a lot of like huge games that I was waiting for, and some like announcements for them to continue support for games that have already come out that shocked me. Like one of the shocking things to me, and I know a lot of people here might not care, they announced a lot of new content for Mario Kart, which I mean for them it makes sense because
200cc, baby.
It's like one of their biggest franchises in terms of sales and whatnot. Mario Kart's consistently popular. But they announced like a free update that gives you a new racing bracket of 200cc, which is going to be like insanely difficult from what I'm imagining. Then they announced like two new characters, 4 new karts, and 8 new stages that they're coming out for Mario Kart. They announced they finally officially gave us a date from Mewtwo and Smash Brothers, and announced Lucas. Nobody saw that coming. And they announced that they opened up a website where fans can vote for the new characters they'd want to see added into the game later. So, I mean, that's just that. We all know how big Smash and Mario Kart are and whatnot. They finally announced, officially, Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem in development. It's not even a development. That's coming to Wii U. They showed even more for the new Fire Emblem game for 3DS and announced that it's coming in 2016. That part hurt me because I want that game now. I have to wait a year, so I'm a little upset about that. They announced some cool games. I mean, it wasn't like everything announced was in my interest, but there were games that I could see a market for. Splatoon looks awesome, actually. I do want to play Splatoon. They announced that Yoshi Yarn game, which looks pretty cool. They showed more footage. I believe they showed more footage of the Puzzles and Dragons Z and the Super Mario Brothers Puzzles and Dragon game that's combined into one game. Basically, it was a lot of cool announcements, cool games.
Pixel Boy.
Yes, Pixel Boy as well. I would say go check it out if you have not. The 30th anniversary of Mario Brothers coming out, obviously. So they spoke on the Mario Maker game that's coming. There was a lot of good stuff, and like you gotta remember, E3 is still coming. We know what Nintendo did last year at E3 with their own E3 Direct, which I hope they do this year. I want to see Nintendo forego showing up to E3 because that market, that E3 market, the people, that's not for them. There's nothing they could really do to benefit.
They really need to create their own event. They need their own event.
Create their own event. There are Nintendo fans, and there are people who just like gaming that'll pay attention. So go with that. Don't conform to that E3 model, because that's not your model.
Wait,
so
Mike.
I just want to say something real quick. Well, go ahead, Gary.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Mike, I just wanted to ask.
I swear to God, if you troll me right now.
No, I'm not trolling.
No, he ain't trolling.
How many amiibos you've got?
Me, honestly, none. Just because I don't have a Wii U yet. I gave my Wii U to my cousins for a graduation gift. I do have the new 3DS, which supports it. I'm planning on getting a couple just because I like the gameplay. Like I have the Project Codename Steam game. If you have the Fire Emblem amiibos, you can put them into the game and use them as characters. Plus, I really love Fire Emblem, so I'd want to get the Fire Emblem amiibos just to collect them. There's a couple that look cool to me. I'd only get just to collect them. But I'm not like I know people who have like every amiibo. I'm not that. I'm not that crazy. I'm not standing in line for amiibo. I'm not insane like that. But I mean, I probably am looking into getting some. Honestly,
Okay, well, get used to buying.
Okay, I just want to say something real fast. I do agree with everything you said. We actually did a react for the Nintendo Direct. But
okay.
I just want to say, yes, they will have some type of Nintendo Direct for E3 because they still need to say what is coming out because Zelda is delayed. That was the only complaint.
Yes, they
that
did.
was the only complaint I had. Yeah, but
we need a date for we need a date for for Star Fox.
Yes.
We still need a date for Star Fox. There's some other games that are supposed to be coming that they've alluded to that they haven't even given us a date or official announcements yet. They just keep hinting at them. So I mean, yeah, there's still a lot that needs to be said.
They gave a release date for Splatoon though, didn't they?
Well, yeah, of course, Splatoon's coming. That's coming soon. So.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah.
So we're about to wrap things up. Does anybody have any final words? Gary, any final words?
Final words. Man, I was gonna say something. Come back to me.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say.
Anybody else? Final words? Doesn't really matter who.
I want to say shouts out to Kojima for making the Metal Gear franchise.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but I don't know. I just want to say shout out to everybody. Just play games and forget all the nonsense. Just play games and leave the nonsense alone. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Michael A.
Yeah, man, it was it's long overdue for me being on here. Thank you guys for having me back on here. Yeah, man, just shoot, play games. People, stop sitting on the comments. Like I always tell people, if you find yourself angry at the keyboard responding to someone, or if you find yourself personally looking at one person on a podcast or a show and always talking to them or always referring to them, even when they don't talk to you, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your life. Go play video games. You're a gamer after all. Like, go pick up a controller or a fight stick or something and play something. You know, go support these games. Go buy these games that are good on any console platform, because gaming needs it right now. These budgets for games are insane because demands are going up. So let's actually support them.
All right, Gary.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what I was going to say before, but, you know, shouts to everybody who listens to the show. Shouts to the other guys doing podcasts on the site. Knights of the Turntable, Baby in the Beard, Throwdown, of course, React, you know, everything we got
You
going.
ain't know that you know that.
When is the next verses? When is the next verses?
Oh, we definitely need a versus because there's so many debates going around at the moment, so we need to make that happen.
Stay tuned for that.
And my final word is just, you know, as a PS4 owner, you know, I'm just concerned because, you know, we've had a remaster of The Last of Us. We're getting a remaster of God of War 3. You know, so I'm just really concerned right now because I thought PlayStation Now was supposed to solve this issue of
You're concerned
playing
when
old
we've got
games.
2 of them? Let me just stop. Well, after dark debate happening soon.
I mean, God of War 3 is on PlayStation Now. Why is there a remaster? That's all.
Well, no, because they want to give people who have a PlayStation 4 the definitive.
Nonsense.
It looks exactly the same, though.
Yeah. No. It has that 1080p, son. That's 60 frames per second. Yeah, that's why. All right, well, that's it for this particular show, Co-op number 112. We thank you all for listening. Please do continue to support us. You know, visit the site. And that's pretty much it for right now. We'll talk to you guys later.